Good morning. Freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. How y'all doing this morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're at in the world? Tyrant's Bane definition coming at y'all with this quick live stream. I really wanted to get you guys' feelings about this bird flu stuff. Hopefully, I can talk about the bird flu right now without getting, flagged or, same thing they was doing with the Modelo 19, right? Now, if something does kick off, I'm pretty sure they're gonna go back in time to this here live stream and take it down due to medical misinformation. But we'll see. Anyway, how y'all doing? The weather's kind of funky outside, so I couldn't get my ruck on, you know what I'm saying? And do the live stream without everything getting all wet. So I figured I'd come in here, I'd do some variations with the rucksack, you know what I'm saying? I still have the weight in here, still getting it in, still doing my overtraining, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I get down. That's what it is. Anyway, still doing what I need to do. One leg squats, some lunges, just to build the strength in the legs, get all that popping. One might ask, why do I do all this? Why do I overtrain and all that funky stuff? And the answer is simple, really. It's because you never know when you're going to need to be able to have the ability to stay moving, to be constantly under stress, constantly under pressure, just to survive. You never know when you're going to need to have to ruck, 30, 40 miles with a weighted pack, to get to a safer destination. You don't know. You don't know. You might have to go into the woods. You might have to climb up, mountains and all that type of shit, hills. You never know what your body's going to have to go through when certain things happen. And so that's why I do what I do, y'all. That's why I do, 28 rounds of Muay Thai on the heavy bag, and then I go ahead and ruck and do whatever else, because you never know. I might have to go through similar type of things in a real world situation. But of course, the most optimal form of training is sparring for 28 rounds and then rucking. But, in reality, you're probably not going to fight anybody for as long as 28 3-minute rounds last. But the point is to build enough stamina and endurance to where a typical fight is maybe 5 or 10 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're fighting a trained individual, and it might be a little bit longer. But for the most part, most fights aren't going to last longer than 30 seconds. So, of course, I'm not going to be fighting people for 28 3-minute rounds in real life. But I know I can do it, right? But it is what it is. Y'all get what I'm saying? So I wanted to talk about this bird flu thing because I feel it's very important to understand how propaganda works, right? And what's even more important to understand is that unofficially, the media is the fourth branch of the government. Fourth or fifth, however you want to look at it. I say, there are two more branches that they don't tell you about, right? You have the judicial branch, the legislative branch, and the executive branch, but you also have the propaganda branch and the oligarchical branch, right? And the oligarchical branch is a wide umbrella of corporations, banks, all those entities that have, their hand on the puppet strings. You know what I'm saying? They control a lot more than you would believe. And so that is the fourth or fifth branch, and as well in the media is the fourth or fifth branch. But you know, most of us already know that, right? And I want to take you to in regards to the bird flu. You know, the bird flu has been going around. So they say the bird flu has been spreading around the United States for months now. They've been talking about it here and there, and for whatever reason, you know, they're tying bird flu to eggs. You know, not even really eggs. I haven't really heard about many eggs being contaminated with the bird flu, but you're hearing about beef, raw milk, all this, that, and the third. And you know, bird flu is supposed to be able to spread amongst animals and all that, and it contaminate humans and infect humans. But they are going around telling you that raw milk, you know, eggs, beef, all these, you know, all the ruminant animal products are infected with bird flu, and you could possibly be infected. And you know, of course, it has everyone in a tizzy. You know, they have people believing that if they eat raw milk or whatever, they're going to die. And there has not been any case of the H5N1, as far as I know, killing anybody in the United States. Now, I want to talk about this individual in Louisiana who they say was infected by the H5N1 virus that has mutated and has caused some concern because the individual in Louisiana was severely ill. Now, what is severely ill? What does that mean? Severely ill. How do you determine that? How was that, you know, what is the rubric? What is the standard for severely ill, right? Is it being laid up in a bed for 5 to 7 days with the fever and all that good stuff, throwing up, all that? For some, it might be considered severe. For others, it might be considered, well, you know, I got the flu. I'm laid up for 5 to 7 days. I got to rest, you know what I'm saying? I keep my liquids, drink my liquids and all that shit. I have fevers, all that. And when they're done, they're back at it. So what does severely ill mean? We don't really know. Like, what's going on with this individual? Why do people believe that he's severely ill and that the bird flu just caused? And then you have the word mutation. Pay attention to words, right? Words like mutation. This is a mutated strain of the H5N1. All right. And, you know, they're telling you that this guy had a mutated strain of the H5N1 because clearly the normal strain is not scary enough. It's not scary enough. So they have to create mutants out of the strain so that you can take it more seriously, right? They use words like mutated, severe, you know, all these different terms to have you thinking, oh, what can we do about this, right? Jump squats ain't gonna work with this backpack. But, you know, I sit back and I say, did this guy die, right? Did he have lingering effects? Has he been permanently damaged, nerve damage, anything like that? Has anything like that happened to this individual to where it's like, okay, he was severely ill for a few days, then he got better. If he got better, but he had something go on where maybe he had a damaged kidney, a damaged liver, did anything like that happen to this individual? Black Spring Autumn was good. Welcome, Queen. How you doing? Y'all go check out Black Spring Autumn, man. Right? So my question would be, pardon me, I'm doing some deep squats. My question would be, how is this any more dangerous than the regular flu? Is it more dangerous than the regular flu? Because I've had the so-called flu, and I was laid up for a few days, and that was when I was in the military. The last time I had a real bad case of the flu was, I want to say, let you see the form. It's gonna be hard with this camera, but I'll try. You know, basically I'm hinging back, right? Hinging back, you know. See if you guys can. That's it. So clearly, you know, people have had the flu, people have had colds, all these things, and they've gotten better. And they went on to live their life. Just as a matter of fact, for me, y'all know I lost my voice in the last couple of weeks. No problem, Black Spring. You know, you hinge back, right? Like you're sitting in a chair, and then you go as deep as you can. You don't want any pain, right? You don't want to go down so far that you experience pain in your knees, your back. But of course, you're going to brace your core, right? You're going to brace your core, you know, keep your chest up, and then you're going to hinge back like you're sitting in the chair, go down as far as you can, right? Get that stretch at the bottom. And that's really why you want to go as deep as you can, because you want to feel the stretch in the glutes, right? That's how you build strength and build the muscle. You got to get that good stretch. And then you pause, right? Go down, pause, and then come up, right? You don't have to hump. You know, they show people squeezing their booties. No, you don't need to do all that, right? The best part is at the bottom of the squat. That is where you're going to get the most effect, at the bottom of the squat. But, you know, it is what it is. So anyway, what's up? Yeah. So, yeah, you don't want to hump the air. You don't have to come up and go, right? The work is at the bottom. The work is at the bottom. If you get that good stretch, you go deep. Ass to the grass, get that good stretch at the bottom, squeeze and pause, and then you slowly come up. Or no, you explode up. You go down slow, explode up. And you can get a lot of effect without going all the way down. You can go halfway down, right? As long as you're squeezing your glutes, right? As long as you're getting that good squeeze, yeah, you're working, right? Anyway, so now this guy in Louisiana, one individual, he didn't die. He had the mutated strain, of course. And it was such a big deal that some news organization, I forgot which one it was, got Sandra Burke, or was Sandra Burke? Black Spring Autumn. You remember that the Modelo 19 czar, aside from Fauci, his female partner, the one, her last name was Burke. I think it's Sandra Burke. They got an interview with her, of course, because she's supposed to have all this knowledge, and we're just supposed to believe a Sandra Burke, or whatever her name is, Elizabeth Burke, or some shit, I forgot. And then they got her on there, and she's talking about, the issue is we don't know how many cows and, Sandra Burke. We don't know how many cows and turkeys and chickens and, crickets, and we don't know how many were contaminated or infected because there simply isn't enough testing. There isn't enough testing going on. There isn't enough testing. It's the same shit they said about the Modelo 19 when it first got popping. Oh, we're not doing enough testing. We're not scraping enough brains. Deborah Burks. Yes, Deborah Burks. I don't know where I got Sandra Burke from. Deborah Burks. Y'all remember her? Oh, we didn't scrape enough brains with the Modelo 19. So, it's all about the testing, right? That's what they want you to believe. You have to go through all these motions. You got to go through all these motions. And here's what I think. They're trying to kickstart another Plandemic, I believe, right? This is just me speculating. They're trying to kickstart another Plandemic, and ostensibly it's because, oh, well, we need to make it as hard for Trump as possible. But that's short-sighted thinking that, oh, they're just doing this to sabotage Trump. No, man, listen, it's just, Trump is a convenient, I don't want to say patsy, but he's just a convenient token, right? They're really doing this to you. They're doing this to y'all. They're trying to sabotage y'all's lives. They want y'all, here's the whole thing about it. The whole thing about the bird flu is not making necessarily people sick, right? Of course, they want you to believe that it can cross-contaminate and cross species and, make you sick and all that shit. But the biggest thing about it is the food supply, right? They want to negatively affect the food supply. Actually, they want to remove a whole food group from the food supply. Yeah. They want to remove an entire group, an entire food group from the food supply so that they can control what you eat and what you put in your body. They want to have control of what you put in your body. They want to be able to regulate what you put in your body. They don't want you eating cows. They don't want you eating pork. They don't want you eating none of that. They don't even want you going hunting and eating deer. That's why in places like Colorado, one of the best places to hunt, right? Has some of the best wild game that you'll ever see. The most diverse wild game that you'll ever hunt. That's why they charge out of state motherfuckers thousands of dollars for one tag. And you need a tag for each animal you hunt. So if you kill an animal, you better have a tag for it. But they're going to charge you thousands of dollars for that if you're from out of state, because a lot of people like to go to Colorado and hunt, and I'm pretty sure it's other states as well. The only reason I know about Colorado is because I might be going out there to work, but and I definitely wanted to be able to go hunting. But if they're going to try to charge me $2,000, $3,000 to tag a deer or to tag an elk or whatever, they can miss me with that bullshit. But see, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. It's all about control, right? It is very convenient that this is happening, and it's ramping up around the time Donald Trump is going to be taking office. But again, it's not really about him, y'all. They want you to think it's about him, so that you don't understand who the real targets are. The real targets are you and me, right? We're the real targets. We're the ones that they really want to come after, right? Donald Trump is just a representation of you, right? But they don't want you to understand that either. But Donald Trump told y'all that they're doing this to me because of y'all, right? If they do it to me, they're going to do it to you. And he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right about that. So that's what this is about. They're going to try to attack the food chain, the food supply. They want to greatly restrict the food supply so that you are not getting the proper nutrition. They don't want you to get the proper nutrition because they want you to be weak. They want you to be sick, right? They don't want you to live optimally. They don't want your brain to operate optimally. They want to demonize cholesterol. They want to demonize fat, right? And they might even start demonizing protein. Oh, you don't need protein. You can get everything from a plant. You get all you need from a plant, but you can't. You simply cannot. The human body is not meant to consume plants alone. It's just simply not. You can try, and some people have success, but only to a certain degree. right? Only if their activity is not as they're not going to have the same level of activity through daily life as someone who consumes the proper human diet. And what's the proper human diet? The proper human diet is the one that works best for you. But I can guarantee you, no one benefits optimally from a diet that doesn't contain meat. It simply doesn't. And I know this, no one benefits from consuming industrial seed oils, soy, and all that type of shit. And I would even venture to say no one benefits greatly now, from green leafy vegetables. Because although green leafy vegetables have all these nutrients in it, right? You know how much of those you have to consume to get the benefits that you would get from other sources? You would have to eat pounds and pounds of green leafy vegetables on a daily basis in order to get the nutrients. But what would happen if you consume that much green leafy vegetables, that much green leafy vegetables? You would have gut issues. You would have rectal, you would have colon issues, because simply because your body cannot properly break down the cell walls of a plant. Plants contain cell walls, known as cellulose or fiber, insoluble fiber, right? So all that shit, it doesn't get broken down properly in the gut. And what does it do? Even if it makes it through, once it makes it through the gut, it goes into the colon. A lot of that fiber gets stuck in the colon. Does some fiber help you boo boo and all? Yeah, maybe the soluble kind, or not. Some of it, yeah, is gonna, because your body's trying to get rid of that shit, right? Your body doesn't want it in there. It's trying to get rid of it, but guess what? A lot of it gets stuck in your colon and forms pockets, which are known as polyps. Polyps, right, can lead to colon cancer. All hail green leafy vegetables. Hey, Xander, whatever works for you, buddy. I haven't had a green leafy vegetable, I want to say, since 2021. I was having a lot of gut issues in 2020. From 2020 to 2022, basically, I was having a lot of gut issues, but I was eating a lot of green leafy vegetables, a lot of kale, a lot of spinach, all that type of shit. And I thought, because I was on my keto thing, I was only eating green leafy vegetables, basically, and meat, fatty meat and all that. And I thought it was the fat. I thought it was the animal fat causing gut issues. No, it was the green leafy vegetables. As soon as I stopped doing that, excuse me, my gut issues went away. It just simply did. And that was maybe 2022 was the latest, but really 2021. That's when I started discovering, okay, maybe I should reduce the amount. Because I was eating bok choy, broccoli, spinach, kale. None of that shit worked out for me. But when I stopped eating that, my gut got better. Musk is in on it too. His Voyager restaurant. Hold on. For whatever reason, when I'm on this thing, the chat goes away real quick. All right. Hold on. So I need to be able to see it. There we go. All right now. Black Spring Autumn says Musk is in on it too. His Voyager restaurant will partner with Gates. Will partner with Gates and his Beyond Meat. Musk is in on it too. His Voyager restaurant will partner with Gates. I don't. Whatever. Anyway. Yeah. So yeah, Musk, and imagine that. Musk is Trump's best friend right now, right? Musk is Trump's best friend. And so, what's really going on? And remember, right? You avid Trump supporters. Remember what happened with Modelo 19 and how Trump responded to that. Spent trillions of our dollars, right? And kicked off Operation Warp Speed. Operation Warp Speed was the reason those hokey pokies came out like they did. And they used those hokey pokies to give you an ultimatum. If you don't take the hokey pokey, you can't go to work. If you don't take the hokey pokey, you can't go to church. If you don't take the hokey pokey, you can't go to the movies. If you don't take the hokey pokey, you can't go to this restaurant. I mean, come on. Trump was behind that. So, I want you guys to understand that Trump is not completely innocent here, right? Trump had the ability to put a stop to a lot of shit, right? Right? Even with the use of the Model State Health Emergency Powers Act, there was a lot of Trump could have done to put a stop to a lot of that nonsense that occurred during the Modelo 19 response. The response to Modelo 19 was wild and out of control. Black Spring Autumn says, alternatives, it is said to be food experience. They don't knock it off. Black Spring Autumn also says, the fourth industrial revolution is going forward, and these people think their leader is better than the other. Exactly. But even if they are better, they still have to operate under this system. If you have a leader that says he's going to do this, that, and the third, right? He's going to change the system and make it better. Well, how can you do that while operating within the system? It's just like what I said about Cynthia G, right? Cynthia G got mad at black men, right? No one talking about, oh, well, black men have been oppressed, they've been buck broken, blah, 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 by the system. You know what I'm saying? They've been made weak by the system. And you ask her, well, what are black men supposed to do about it? Oh, well, you're supposed to go through the system. You're supposed to go to court. You're supposed to take the system to court. Well, the court is part of the system. So how are we operating? How are we going to make change? How are we going to change the system, right? By operating within the system. You can't. You want to change it from within, and that's my problem with clowns like the clown shoe Lucas. Oh, let's change the system, operating through the system. Let's ask the system for reparations, knowing good and goddamn well the system is not designed to give people reparations, right? That's not how they operate. The government takes how it's going to give you anything without taking from someone else. No, they have to force the corporations, right? If you're not talking about forcing the corporations that benefited from slavery, giving the reparations, then you don't know what you're talking about. What you're talking about is backwards. I haven't heard anybody talking about reparations saying that we should go to the corporations, right, that benefited directly from slavery, that still exist to this day. Go to them. Get the reparations from them. If they're not telling you that, they're on a dummy mission. It's a dummy mission. And who's going to force the corporations to do that? The government's not. The government needs the corporations, right? The government and the corporations go hand in hand. Kangar J says, according to Lucas, Kamala was the best choice See, that's how you know Edwin Lucas is an idiot, or he's simply intellectually dishonest, because he knows good and goddamn well Kamala was not about to give black folks no reparations. How is she going to force the corporations to give descendants of slaves reparations? How is she going to do that? They work for the corporations. They represent the corporations, the special interest groups, right? Trust me, those corporations that benefited from slavery are the very corporations that give your representatives all this money in the form of donations. Those are the ones that lobby to get what they want done. They can't go against them. So how is Kamala going to do it? And on top of that, she also said that she was not going to do anything specifically for black folks. She scoffed at the idea when they asked her. She scoffed at it. But he believes that they're going to do something. Nah, that's not how that works. Anyway, I'm gonna get on out of here, y'all. Just know they want to try to kickstart the next pandemic, but this pandemic is going to greatly affect the food chain if it actually happens. You know, it's going to greatly affect the food chain. They're going to try to ban certain foods, saying, "Oh well." They're already trying to recall thousands of meat products in Costco, eggs in Costco. They're already trying to recall that, not for the bird flu, but for salmonella, right? So, but they're never going to go after the plants. That they're not going to try to remove plants from the food chain. Right? They're not going to try to do that, even though there have been many breakouts of E. coli and salmonella. Plants can also carry diseases that affect human beings, but they're not going to go after the plant life. They're going to go after the animal life, the animal-based products. They don't want you to consume that. Hell, don't be surprised if they try to find a way to demonize honey. They're going to come up with some shit like, oh, well, the botulism bacteria, it mutated to affect adults, right? Because, you're not supposed to give babies under 1 year old honey because of the botulism bacteria that could, basically kill them. Well, they're going to find, botulism mutated. Now it can infect kids and adults. You don't eat the honey. Oh, don't get that raw honey. Only pasture. Trust me. They want your food to be denatured, especially like the dairy, the milk, the cheese, the cream, the honey, things like that. That's more beneficial if you consume it raw, as long as it's being handled properly, right? Of course, you don't just get raw honey and raw milk and whatnot from anywhere. But they're going to try. They want to pasteurize this stuff, denature it, to where you get no benefit from it at all. None whatsoever. I eat raw, unfiltered honey, right? But they want to filter the honey, pasteurize it, so all you get is the sugar. Right? All you get is the sugar. You get a sugar spike. But if you consume raw, unfiltered honey, you're not going to get the sugar spike because there's all these other nutrients within it, all these antiviral, antibacterial properties within the honey that is greatly beneficial to the human body. That's why whole tribes, bears, all this other type of shit, all these animals, they seek out honey. They will get stung thousands of times and have become accustomed to getting stung, and it doesn't affect them, to get honey. because they know innately and inherently that honey is beneficial. But Xander, I tell you what, they don't seek out kale and broccoli. You understand what I'm talking about? You will not see no animal that, I'm talking about like a carnivore. You will not see a carnivore animal or an omnivore animal going out their way to find a special leaf. They're not doing that, right? No, they're seeking out honey, salt, things like that. They want to demonize salt. They want to tell you salt causes high blood pressure and all this other type of shit. Miss me with that bullshit. I eat all the salt, and my blood pressure is 106 over 70 or some shit like that. Last time I checked, it was 106 over 70. And I had just eaten a piece of bacon that morning. Well, more than one piece of bacon. A few pieces of bacon that morning. Hella salty. Went to the doctor, checked my blood pressure, 106 over 70. So how the fuck is salt causing high blood pressure when I didn't get no high blood pressure from salt? It's a fucking lie. Right? So, it's other things that you eat along with it, right? Like the high carb content, processed sugar, industrial seed oils, all those type of things that cause the high blood pressure. But just because you just so happen to eat it with a meat, you ate it with a piece of fruit, you ate it with salt, all this other, they're gonna blame the salt. They're gonna blame the meat. Hell, and they might even blame the fruit. Right? Because I eat fruit, you know what I'm saying? But a green leafy vegetable, they'll never blame that. They'll never blame green leafy vegetable. They'll never blame the industrial seed oil, even though they know it's harmful. They'll never blame the processed sugar, right? The sucrose. They'll never blame that. They'll never blame they do blame the high fructose corn syrup and all that type of shit. But they'll go out their way to demonize these other things so that you are more worried about consuming that than what you should be worried about consuming. And that's what this bird flu is going to lead to. They're going to tell you what you can and can't eat. If it goes where I think it's going to go. Of course, again, this is pure speculation based on patterns and all that type of shit. History repeating itself, empirical data. This is how they roll. Anyway, just like with the Modelo 19, they didn't want you to go outside. They didn't want you to have close contact with people. They didn't want you to socialize. They wanted you guys to separate. They didn't want you to go to school. They didn't want you to go to work. They didn't want you to go outside without a face flag. All that type of shit. They wanted to strike fear in your heart so that you would not live a bountiful, full life. They wanted you stuck up in the house. This is how they get down. Oh, Jay, yeah, for sure. They definitely going for another run. Absolutely. I mean, but this is what they do. This is what they do. This. They have to ramp up the bullshit. But it is what it is, y'all. Anyway, I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Much love. Like, share, subscribe. And keep marching forward toward freedom.